Welcome to A Moment of Zen. Time to sit back and relax as model, actress, mentor, and supermom Zen Sams takes you on a sexy and wild ride, covering the latest in film, fashion, pop culture, cryptocurrency, fintech, cannabis, and entertainment from the millennial mom's perspective. Here's your host, Zen Sams.
Hello, my beautiful tri-state area. Welcome to our 164th episode. It's always such a pleasure to spend my time with you on the airwaves. Thank you for listening and interacting with me on social media. That truly makes it all worthwhile. Please make sure to follow me at Zen Sams all over Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Threads. That's Zen with an X, not a Z. And remember that all episodes of A Moment of Zen are streaming 24/7 on your home TV and Kathy Ireland worldwide. You can always find us on our YouTube channel. We upload every Sunday at 2 p.m. at Zen Sams. Next, in our Going Deep segment, brought to you by CO2 Lift, today we'll be at SkinSplendid Spa in Montclair, New Jersey, with mother-daughter duo Nurse Christy and Nurse Emma. Today, we're going to be experimenting with different use cases of CO2 Lift mask over different generations. We're going to see in real time how it improves treatment results, and we'll hear patient testimonials and reactions to the CO2 Lift product. In the Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, today we're joined by Donald Suxho, a two-time Olympian competing in both the Athens and London Games. He joins me today to chat about his journey from pro volleyball athlete and Olympian to coaching and plans for his newest chapter with the Global Sports Institute. In the Discover Your Potential segment brought to you by The Wellness Way, we're joined by contributor and host Anna DeVere. Today, she's going to be joined by coach and speaker Sumaya Brown. Sumaya serves as a speaker trainer both independently and alongside her dad, internationally renowned motivational speaker Les Brown. They join me today to chat about finding a way through and navigating life's never-ending transitions. Stay tuned for volleyball Olympian superstar and now co-founder of GSI Institute, Donald Suxho. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV.
Hi, this is Kathy Ireland here on A Moment of Zen, brought to you by Your Home TV. We've developed an all-inclusive subscription-free network that you're going to love, whether it's financial freedom, fashion, beauty, health and wellness, wonderful weddings, travel and culture, cooking, entertainment, and short-form documentaries, programming for everyone. Classic films and new shows, including Kathy Ireland Presents American Dreams. We've developed this network just for you. Please check out yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, 100% pure coconut water. Imagine a drink that's nutrient-rich, powerfully refreshing, naturally sweet with no added sugars, not from concentrate, zero additives, low in calories, absolutely no artificial flavors, and is so tasty that it will become your new favorite beverage. Enter Once Upon a Coconut, the absolute best tasting coconut water you will ever try. Available in 4 refreshing flavors: pure, chocolate, pineapple, and sparkling with energy. Do your taste buds a favor and pick up some today at onceuponacoconut.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in our Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, today we're joined by my dear friend, Donald Suxho. He's a two-time Olympian who competed in both the Athens and London Olympic Games. As the highly decorated volleyball athlete, he has a proven track record of success at the highest levels of competition and now has extensive experience as a not only player, but a coach with a passion for developing talent and fostering a winning culture. He joins me today to chat about his journey from pro volleyball athlete and Olympian to coaching and plans for his newest chapter with the Global Sports Institute. Welcoming now to the show is my dear friend, Donald Suxho. Welcome, superstar.
Hey, Zen, good to be here. Hello, New York. Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me again. It's great to see you. Love being in your show. Keep up the great work, Zen.
Oh, so excited to have you back on, my dear. Now, you've had such an illustrious career as both a player and the coach in the wonderful world of volleyball. But looking specifically at your playing days, your time as a 4-year starting setter and captain at USC was marked by numerous accolades, including being named NCAA Player of the Year and making first team All-American twice. And then, of course, going on to be a two-time Olympian. Can you share a standout moment from your playing days that truly defined your passion for the sport?
It's really hard to define success, or really like kind of, we all have those dreams and passions to be the best we can be, right? And sometimes we get there, sometimes we don't. And also to kind of push for that, for to push your limits, it's a hard choice to make. So for me, volleyball changed my life forever. I was an immigrant from Albania, came to Boston and got a scholarship to USC. And B, I never had a chance or a dream to join the US Olympic team. So my full circle moment is when I went to Athens Olympics, being a neighbor country from Albania. We're in communism, and I came to the States in '94 with having any dreams for volleyball, purely working, and then being in the Olympic stage and opening ceremony, representing the greatest country on earth, and seeing my little country Albania having two people. I mean, I cried, and just being amongst the best. I think for me that was that was kind of the final straw for me, like being amongst the best and competing amongst the best. That means that you did your work, and now it's time to to compete. So that was for me like just the opening ceremony in Athens, Greece.
You gave me chills. You gave me chills. I'm so proud of you. And we know an excitement for volleyball has significantly grown in the last few years. We see it as a very important sport, if you will. In fact, according to the NFHC, the high school participation survey, volleyball was the number one most popular team sport for girls in the US, with 470,000 participants in the year 2023. So this goes beyond just junior level, because as the sport continues to gain more recognition here in the US, more professional leagues are being created right here, making it easier for pros who in past years had been forced to travel internationally. And there's been an increase in media coverage on networks like ESPN and the Big Ten network. So volleyball is really picking up momentum in the US, and it's only going to continue to grow. Now, you've competed in the world's top leagues all around, including Russia, Italy, Turkey, Argentina, and Greece. Taking this into account, as you now continue your coaching journey, what unique insights or even lessons have you gained from each cultural and competitive environment that you bring into your coaching philosophy here in America?
Yeah, that's a great question, Jenna. I mean, you covered that really well, the 27-year journey of being a kid and being a pro, being an Olympian. For me, like I'm excited like you that our sport is growing tremendously all over US, high school clubs, collegiate level. Now the girls and the boys have a chance to stay in USA and play pro in front of their family and friends, which I never had the chance to do it. I had to travel to Europe. But what I learned about being at USC, USA, being to countries like Russia, Dubai, Greece, Turkey, is being able to adapt. I mean, number one thing that I learned is that never my way or the highway, is being able to adapt to different cultures, different system, different human behavior, different human relationships, different languages, which is also, the ability to learn. I mean, being open-minded, it's awesome, because for me, I was really blessed to play for the best in the world, but I also had experiences. I had really bad coaches or really bad teammates, so being open-minded and learning, learning new skills, learning how to adjust, learning how to deal with problems and come up with solutions, So for me, those are the most important things that I learned throughout my year, and just listening to people, like we come from different backgrounds. We know so many things, and many leaders or many coaches never take their time to listen to their players, to listen to their coaches, to listen to their friends, or having mentors above them, So for me, I'm always open-minded. I'm always willing to learn, and I'm always, open up for advice, So there's a few things that, I take it now in my new journey.
Well said. Now, the world of youth sports is huge. According to Maya research, youth sports overall, not just volleyball, is a close to $40 billion global industry. And a National Institutes of Health study found that there were more than 60 million young athletes in the US alone. Now, while not every one of these athletes is going to go pro, sports clearly play a large part in our youth's upbringing. So, having a supportive and effective coach is extremely important. And now, while coaching comes with so many other rewards, it doesn't come without its challenges, right? So, what strategies do you employ to ensure you connect with your players on a personal level, but also driving them towards their maximum potential on the court?
Yeah, great. I mean, great point there. None of us, we don't know our journey, right? We don't know where we're going to end up. That's what I tell all the players. Some will become Olympians, some world champions, some will just play in junior college, some, might go D1 or maybe just stop, play in high school. It's important to have the passion for the sport. You want to play volleyball because you love it. B, the second thing is, the education. I'm very transparent with the kids and the parents. It's like, hey, where we are now, it's, we're going to decide that we are at point A, but we're going to go to point B. And here's the plan forward, to be fully transparent, effective communication, tell the truth to the players and the parents as well, because the parents are the ones who are, paying all this money for the kids to travel around the world or, do tournaments or do privates, so being very transparent, having an action plan, and also holding accountable the kids and also ourselves, it's cool because it's one thing to say for these kids or, even adults, in college to, it's one thing to do and stay on top of that, so being accountable, having effective communication and designing a plan for them, be truthful about where we are, where we're going and how to get there. It's many times the coaches take the easy way out and let things go, the problems, the issues. I think, like whenever we lose or win, we address it right away. Whenever we have good practice, bad practice, we address it right away and move on quickly, Just that lesson I learned when I was overseas, being able to adjust, adapt, listen and solve problems. I think that's a big part of my DNA. And lastly, Jen, creating those human relationships, humanized relationships more than having a coach player, do this and do that, just being able to connect at a personal level because we're not robots, right? We are human beings and we have problems sometimes. So it's important to get to know the players, their history, good or bad, and then design the plans around them.
These are great strategies. I mean, your players are very lucky to have someone like you as their coach. Now, like we said, you've represented the US in 2 Olympic Games as a setter. And for those of you who aren't familiar, the setter is the player who essentially runs the team's of offense and is often regarded as one of the hardest positions. You need to be able to quickly read the opposing team and have really strong communication skills, which is something he just alluded to. And with volleyball being such a fast-paced game, the setter needs to be able to keep their cool and not only call the shots, but communicate them to everyone and to keep everyone on the same page. Sounds like a tough job. Can you describe the level of pressure and excitement that comes with competing at such a prestigious event and how the experience shapes your approach to coaching Olympic hopefuls?
My dad, when I was little, he told me like, you want to be, how many good hitters you have in the world? Can you count in, fingers? And I start counting too many players, and how many good setters are in the world? And I counted very few of them. So for me, it motivated me to be one of the best I could be personally, like on a personal level. My motivation was within. It's like, I love the position, being a setter and being the best I can be. Be like, people don't know, like, in the volleyball world, you have 3 seconds when the ball comes to make a decision. And that decision can be a gold medal or could be the 4th place or the last place in the Olympics, So preparation comes in handy. Being able to prepare, to study, to train ahead of time, to have a game plan, and also being able to execute at a high level. It's one thing to get information. It's one thing to understand it and execute it over and over again. So for me, I was able to really hone in on those skills. Lastly, like honestly, for me, it was like being a servant, almost like, how can I help my team get better? How can I help my hitters? How can I put them in the best position, like a Tom Brady or Steph Curry of the world? Like, it's not about me, it's about the team. So understanding lineups, understanding the human behavior of my players and my coaches and against the opposing teams, I was able to relate this kind of tricks of a trade per se, and understand the personality of my guys and also the personality of the other team, and kind of play chess, and you play the long game. You play the long game. You got to be patient. You got to keep emotions under the sleeve. You can react to things emotionally. You got to respond. I'm big on that, So I was able to respond more than react and be emotional and put my head down, or what I call blame, shame, justification. Stay away from those 3 things. It's always the next point. It's always the next, the next solution, and we move on as a team. But yeah, it was a blessing. I loved it. I miss it. Hard to get it back, but now I can, work that out, in my new ventures ahead.
Now you're inspiring others. Now let's dive into the newest chapter in your career, the Global Sports Institute, which is a hub for athletes that are aiming to elevate their game and strengthen their connections and really cultivate leaders and champions both on and off the court. What inspired you to establish this venture, and how do you envision it making a significant impact on the volleyball community, but sports community as a whole?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I was blessed with my partners, who believed in my vision and a mission. And for me, was we want to design a center that was built by real athletes for real athletes. That means that me and my partner, we both went through the same struggles from age 10 to till we finished our careers. We both played volleyball at the highest level, and we looked around all over US, and there's no really centers like this that have kind of all the service in one. We have a great flooring, great nets, technology, all the equipment needed, video recording, a coffee shop, a place to hang out for the parents, like make it a great experience for our kids and parents, but also have a place where the kids can truly come, where we can train, where we can develop, and we can compete at a high level. So for me, I looked around and it's always difficult to find a place like this. So we put our heads together, and then we designed also for if Olympians come back or if a pro athletes come in, we're putting a full-on fitness center with techno gym as well. So we want to create a kind of a athleticism and really good athletes inside out, as well as kind of a multi-sport center. I like the multi-sport, a little bit of pickleball, a little bit of fitness, volleyball, basketball will be a fun place. But it's kind of a place where you come to train, develop, and compete at the highest level, regardless of your journey or your dreams.
Well, you have your work cut out for you, my friend. We are almost out of time. We have about a minute left. And before we wrap up, let's chat a bit about coconut water. We are we are hosted by the Hydration with Heart segment. So when we talk about hydration in respect to sports, it's absolutely crucial to be properly hydrated to ensure proper muscle performance, prevent injuries, and aid with recovery. And as we know, or those of you that don't know, coconut water is a great natural hydrator with electrolytes like potassium and sodium and magnesium. And to go one step further, compared to many commercial sports drinks, coconut water is low in calories, contains no added sugars or artificial ingredients, making it truly a healthier option for hydration. Now, Donald, taking all of this into consideration with your own athletic experience, how would you recommend implementing coconut water into an athlete's training or recovery routine?
I mean, it's so important. I mean, Zen is like, everybody worries about training and working out hard, but rest and recovery is number one in sport, especially volleyball, when girls and guys sweat a lot, and they rely on the sugary drinks I've seen on the gyms, on Gatorades or Powerades of the world, and it does nothing for them. And you create cramps, tiredness, physically, mentally. Coconut, once about coconut, your sponsor, your great sponsor, I got to know them. I cannot wait to work with them. I mean, what is the best natural way of, replenishing your energy so you can be ready, not only physically, Zen, but it's also mentally. When these girls or guys get, dehydrated, they are not able to think clearly, to measure the muscles stop moving, or you wake up the next day sore and you can't move, So yes, it's the number one, rest and recovery and hydration is number one thing. So I love the coconut water. I love what you guys are doing. I cannot wait to partner.
These are all great points. And Once Upon a Coconut has a great lineup of flavors from pure to chocolate to blueberry and more. So your 8 glasses of water a day can get a whole lot tastier. Plus, it's one thing to introduce a premium coconut water that tastes better than anything you've ever tried before, but it's truly something else to give back to the communities and people that truly need it. And that's why for every case of Once Upon a Coconut sold, they donate 10% to a charity selected each month. So just as you are giving back to your community by coaching and guiding athletes towards their fullest potential, Once Upon a Coconut is giving back in their own way as well. And with that, we have reached the end of this interview. Thank you so much for coming on, my dear.
Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
That was our Hydration with Heart segment brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut. And that was the incredible two-time Olympian, Donald Suxho. Definitely be sure to check him out on the gram at dsujo7 and head to gsi.institute online to learn more about the Global Sports Institute and what they have to offer. And of course, do head to onceuponacoconut.com to check out the coolest tasting coconut water on the planet. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Once Upon a Coconut, 100% pure coconut water. Imagine a drink that's nutrient-rich, powerfully refreshing, naturally sweet with no added sugars, not from concentrate, zero additives, low in calories, absolutely no artificial flavors, and is so tasty that it will become your new favorite beverage. Enter Once Upon a Coconut, the absolute best tasting coconut water you will ever try. Available in 4 refreshing flavors: pure, chocolate, pineapple, and sparkling with energy. Do your taste buds a favor and pick up some today at onceuponacoconut.com.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Do you have the dream of starting and owning your own business, or know of someone who does? If so, check out Your Home Business program, where they inspire, equip, and encourage those who dream of owning and operating their own business. Check out Your Home Business on yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. A Moment of Zen is brought to you by The Wellness Way, your trusted partner in health restoration. Now you can feel amazing at any age with their foundational testing and mind-body approach. The Wellness Way offers in-clinic and telehealth support when you're ready to test, not guess, what your body needs. Discover your best health by visiting their website, thewellnessway.com, and selecting a clinic near you. Do health differently at thewellnessway.com.
Welcome back, beautiful tri-state area. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. I'm your host, Zen Sams. Up next in Discover Your Potential segment brought to you by The Wellness Way, we're joined by contributor, podcaster, and regular co-host Anna DeVere. Today, she's joined by coach and speaker Sumaya Brown with over 15 years of experience in the fields of motivational speaking, coaching, training, and education. She's developed a unique approach to her power speaker coaching that combines evidence-based practices with a client-centered focus. She holds a master's degree in teaching and serves as a speaker trainer, both independently and alongside her father, internationally renowned motivational speaker Les Brown. They join me today to chat about finding a way through and navigating life's never-ending transitions. Welcoming now to the show are my dear friends. Welcome, Anna and Sumaya.
Hello. Hi. Thank you for having me.
So great to have you on. So let's dive right in. So today we'll be exploring the topics of finding you and unmasking the myth of identity. So let's start with your own journey. Sumaya, what was it like to grow up as Les Brown's daughter and be part of the first family of motivational speaking? And how do you think that that has impacted your identity?
I think it was very normal. It was a regular household, a regular familial situation. And even though there were always people around who were looking at Dad and very engaged and very interested in what he was saying and what he was doing, he made sure that we were humble. He made sure that we treated people how we wanted to be treated. And the way that informed my identity is that regardless of whoever my dad was or whatever I was, it wasn't about what he did, but it was about who he was behind the microphone. Who was he when no one was looking, when the lights were out, when the sound is turned off, when nobody is screaming your name, without the applause? Who are you? And so observing that as a child from then until now, I recognize that my roles, whatever they may be, do not define me. They only inform what I do, but they don't define who I am.
Well said. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Amen.
Amen.
Now, yeah, that was great. Look at you. She's like a motivational speaker in under a minute and a half.
No.
You are so good at what you do, and it's such a powerful, meaningful narrative to hear you speak. It's great. Now, Anna, I know you first met Sumaya last year when you interviewed her for Discover Your Potential to talk about personal transformation and self-exploration. So in your own words, that was a difficult transition in your personal life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did Sumaya have an impact on you then?
Yeah, in all the times that I've interviewed professionals in this field, there's only been a couple of times where I feel myself healing through the conversation. Sumaya Brown is one of those. So it's beyond the wisdom of her word. It's this rare and nurturing kind of intention that she carries. And I'm not even sure you're aware of that, Sumaya, but that's part of your identity. And maybe you're going to discover that today and just me pointing it out. I feel that way, though, about her.
Oh, you're such a cheerleader.
I am.
Anna is one of your biggest fans, Sumaya. Now, coping with life transitions is challenging for anyone. But if you are better mentally prepared, self-aware, and more accepting of life's twists and turns, it can certainly become easier over time. And interestingly, Bruce Feiler, the author of Life is in the Transitions, interviewed several hundred people and came to the conclusion that people go through a disruptive event every 12 to 18 months. And 1 in 10 of these are major changes, and he calls life quakes, which lead to transitions. And these life quakes can be positive or negative. It's still a transition. So we have to navigate and change. And we know that that's rarely easy. So now shifting back to the concept of identity, your message centers around the myth of identity, and you challenge your audience to unmask and rethink identity. Why is it important to lean into this understanding?
It's really important to rethink the lie of identity, because identity can really be deceptive if we allow ourselves as individuals to get locked in to allowing our occupations, allowing our status in life, whether it's financial, whether it's an educational status, whatever it is, to define us. Because when those things are taken away, and when we are at our wits' end, and when we are contemplating who we really are, what's going to matter at our core is not our accomplishments. It's not what people say about us. It's not what they think about us, good or bad. It's really how we are operating and how we are moving as effective agents of change in the earth. That's what's going to truly matter.
Well, Sumaya, you have certainly gained lots of wisdom in your life. So it's admirable that you use that knowledge to help and lift up others. Anna, what have you learned from her in the short time you've known her?
So I understand that part of discovering your potential is in like the reframing of your own story, right? Taking the good, the bad, the ugly, and learning to be less judgmental about it. But what Samaya has reminded me of this deeper truth that the process of discovering identity is a tool. And have you ever watched a movie and then watched it like a decade later and it's a totally different perspective on it? I like to look at my life now and I don't see mistakes so much. I've got this kinder view and I look at that younger person and I want to give that person like a helping hand. I think Samaya's reframing technique and looking at identity beyond, what's come and gone in your life is really an effective tool for changing that story, that narrative you tell about yourself. Yeah.
It's almost like unprogramming the programmed.
Right.
Now, Sumaya, let's chat about one of your latest ventures, your podcast, Sumaya Unveiled, where you share a motivational message to your viewers about moving forward. I'd love to hear more from you about how one can move forward in their true identity.
I think the most humbling thing about moving forward is you have to look at everything for what it is and assess and say, what do I do now? And many of us find ourselves in places where phases of our life have changed. We've gone on to different transitions. Maybe we got fired. Maybe we got a pink slip. Maybe we're going into retirement. Maybe we are just starting a brand new job. Whatever it is that we find ourselves, or wherever we find ourselves, we have to look at, how did I get here, whether good or bad, and what do I need to do to move forward? And I know that sometimes it can be extremely difficult. It can be taxing. It can be uncomfortable because it's unfamiliar. But I believe that moving forward is a necessity. And as you move forward in your why, and understanding that, again, you're moving towards purpose, you're moving towards what you were born to do, what you were created and purposed and destined to do, then that takes on a different form. And it's not about how much money you're making, even though that's a good thing. We're not saying that it's not a good thing, but we want to make our objective, how are we truly living our lives as valuable people? And how are we allowing the circumstances of life to educate us, to refine us, to weather us, to season us, to allow us to grow through our mistakes? Sometimes we want to act like we don't make mistakes, but it's better to grow through them and sometimes in them than to just ignore them altogether. And I believe that in order to move forward, you have to be humble and you have to adequately assess where you are.
Boy, you are your father's daughter.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Anna, you clearly share a love for podcasting with Sumaya, right?
Mhm.
Do you share a
Yes.
similar why for your podcast series as well?
I like to think so. I like to think we have so much in common, and this is just one of those intersections. I think we genuinely love people and want to know what makes them tick. I love that her show title has the word unveiled in it. I think everybody has an innate need to be seen and understood. And I think Sumaya has the supreme talent of being disarming in that conversation. She's a person that doesn't have an agenda, and you just feel that. What a great way to approach a conversation that she makes all about you in her podcast series.
It's beautiful. Now,
Yeah.
before we wrap up, Sumaya, do you have any exciting upcoming projects we should keep an eye out for?
I do. I'm working with my dad. He's still kicking. And what I love about it is, even as a senior, you can't tell him that he's not 20 years old and he doesn't have the energy of a 20-year-old, because he does. And so we are still at it. He is motivating the masses, and we are holding a speaker training at the end of May in Atlanta, Georgia. And it's going to be my father, it's going to be myself, Sumaya Brown, and it's also going to be my siblings, who I'm not the only speaker in the family. So I'm not just this rare person. There are other people, a lot of my dad has influenced all of us. And so it's great to just share the stage with him. So if people would like more information about that, they can visit lesbrown.com, or they can visit iamsumaya.com, and they can fill out a form and receive more information and join us there and connect.
Bless you. I
Thank
I
you.
would highly recommend anyone looking for motivation to come listen to you and your father speak. And Anna, will you be joining Sumaya for any of these?
Yes, 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 and yes. Sumaya, I love your dad, but I would love to continue my speaker training with you. And I look forward to any opportunity to be involved with what you're doing. And I just give you a virtual high five. Let's go. Let's go
Thank
do
you.
something great. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That reminds me that I have more upcoming speaker trainings. So again, you can visit iamsumaya.com for more information. And thank you for saying that, Anna.
Of course. I can't wait to join you anywhere you go.
It's a love affair. When's the honeymoon? We are out of time, my dear friends. Thank you so much for joining us. Sumaya, it was a pleasure chatting with you. You are so transparent. You command the microphone. You are so comfortable and authoritative. A trailblazer, truly. You should be so proud of yourself. And Anna, you know how I feel about you, but I'll toot your horn one more time. I
Oh,
love you.
thank
You're
you.
amazing.
Thank
Yeah, it was
you.
such a joy to be here. Thank you.
That was Discover Your Potential segment, brought to you by The Wellness Way. That was the incredible and inspirational Sumaya Brown. Definitely check her out on her website, iamsumaya.com, and on the gram at iamsumaya.brown. You definitely don't want to miss the next episode of Sumaya Unveiled. And of course, see more of Anna by heading to discoveryourpotentialshow.com. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by The Wellness Way, your trusted partner in health restoration. Now you can feel amazing at any age with their foundational testing and mind-body approach. The Wellness Way offers in-clinic and telehealth support when you're ready to test, not guess, what your body needs. Discover your best health by visiting their website, thewellnessway.com, and selecting a clinic near you. Do health differently at thewellnessway.com. A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Join Jimmy Jimbo Temple on Cowboys, Trailers, and Ranches and get ready for a crazy ride. From up-and-coming country western performers to ranchers with purpose, Jimmy takes you behind the scenes with a front row seat to all of the action. Cowboys, Trailers, and Ranches is dedicated to celebrating and preserving all things Western. Check them out on yourhometv.com.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by CO2 Lift. As we age, our skin loses moisture and elasticity, causing wrinkled skin. You can reverse this aging process with CO2 Lift. CO2 Lift utilizes the powerful benefits of carbon dioxide to lift, tighten, and regenerate your skin. This simple, painless at-home carboxytherapy treatment is scientifically proven to reverse the aging process. You will see reduction in wrinkles, increase luminosity, and improve pigmentation, sagging, skin tone, and radiance. For more information or to order CO2 Lift, go to CO2Lift.com.
Up next in the Going Deep segment, brought to you by CO2 Lift, today we'll be at SkinSplendid in Montclair, New Jersey, with mother-daughter duo Nurse Christy and Nurse Emma. Today, we're experimenting with different use cases of CO2 Lift mask over different generations. We're going to see in real time how it improves treatment results, and we'll hear patient testimonials and reactions to the CO2 Lift products. Founded in 2020, SkinSplendid has locations in both New Jersey and in the heart of New York City. As a board-certified nurse practitioner, Nurse Christy has worked in many areas of medicine, and her focus has always been on overall patient safety, health, and wellness through a patient-centered approach. Nurse Christy works alongside her daughter, Nurse Emma, a registered nurse with a Bachelor of Science in Nursing who is so passionate about skincare and injectables. They are quite the dream team. Let's go check out what the hype is all about. Follow me to Montclair, New Jersey. Okay, we've made it all the way up to SkinSplendid right here in Montclair, New Jersey, and we're about to meet Nurse Christy and Nurse Emma, mother-daughter duo nurse practitioners.
Hi, I'm Nurse Christy, owner of SkinSplendid.
And I'm Nurse Emma, and we're here to talk to you about CO2 Lift.
How did you first hear about CO2 Lift?
I first heard about CO2 Lift about 3 years ago on a webinar.
How long have you been using CO2 Lift on your patients?
I've been using CO2 Lift for 3 years now on my patients.
What would you most recommend CO2 Lift for pre or post care, and why?
We recommend CO2 Lift for pre and post care. We mostly use it for post care though. We send our patients home with CO2 Lift when they do a CO2 laser, which is a resurfacing laser, or a microneedling treatment, because those both involve a little bit of downtime.
You could also use CO2 Lift pre-treatment to make the skin, keep the skin healthy, get the skin really hydrated before a laser. And also we like to use it after injectables too, and also as a standalone treatment in itself.
It's good for so many different skin types.
Can you share a patient experience where CO2 Lift dramatically helped or improved a condition?
Yes, I do have a patient experience where the CO2 Lift really helped this patient. I had a patient who had acne scarring, but also very sensitive skin. We decided to do a laser on her, and I knew her skin would be really red after the laser. So after the laser, of course, her skin was very red, and she was concerned about it. I sent her home with the CO2 Lift mask and told her to do the mask, wait a couple hours and do the mask in the evening. She did the mask in the evening, and she called me the next morning, and she was like, my skin looks amazing. It looks so beautiful. And she loved it. She contributed that to the CO2 Lift, really helping to hydrate and oxygenate her tissue.
What is the first step in deciding if a patient needs or could benefit from CO2 Lift?
The first step in deciding if someone can benefit from CO2 Lift is if they have skin. Definitely people over the age of 35, their skin starts to dry out. You start to lose some collagen. It's really good for stimulating collagen production. But I mean, even people under 35, I've used CO2 Lift a number of times to heal my skin after doing a little bit of damage to my skin barrier. So it's nice because it's good for all Fitzpatrick types. It's very soothing, and there's no downsides or contraindications really to using CO2 Lift.
How and when do you incorporate CO2 Lift into a procedure?
We incorporate CO2 Lift into really any procedure. We love doing it after injectables because the skin is sometimes bruised and compromised from injectables. We also do it after microneedling. We do it after lasers. Really, you could do it after any treatment, and you can also use it as a standalone treatment in itself.
How long do the results last after CO2 Lift application?
Well, as with anything in skincare or aesthetic medicine, that varies, and it's not really something that we think about. Skincare is a constant journey, and so we don't really measure results in terms of the days. It kind of has a cumulative effect where we don't focus on longevity. We focus on how your skin looks today and strengthening it for really the long term. But I'd say that we have people repeat CO2 Lift as often as once a week, once a month, once a quarter, whenever they feel like their skin needs a boost and extra support.
Are there any limitations to using CO2 Lift?
The great thing about CO2 Lift is that there are no contraindications or limitations. We can use it during pregnancy. We can use it if you have an implant or a pacemaker. And a lot of other procedures have these contraindications. CO2 Lift actually brings oxygen to the tissue, so it is very beneficial in any circumstance or situation. So we love using it for all of our patients.
It's such a good addition to our practice, and I can't imagine some of these procedures now without using CO2 Lift.
We really do see a big improvement in our patient's skin.
Nurse practitioner mother-daughter duo Nurse Emma and Nurse Christy are currently performing procedures on different generation of patients. Let's go see what they have to say about carbon dioxide therapy for skin rejuvenation. Nurse Christy is performing a procedure on our very beautiful patient, Dina. What procedure are we performing on this beautiful patient today?
So we are doing SkinVive by Allergan. We love this treatment. This is actually a very thin hyaluronic acid. And what this does, unlike a traditional filler, this hydrates the tissue. So we just basically do very superficial injections right under the skin, and this hydrates the skin from the inside out.
So Dina, you're in your 40s, you look beautiful and radiant, you work in human resources. How important is it to love the skin you're in?
Well, we only get one face, and I feel it to feel comfortable in your skin is to feel good on the outside, which then drives, helps to drive your feeling good on the inside, and project confidence.
I love what you said. How long have you been coming to SkinSplendid?
Gosh, I've been coming to SkinSplendid now through 2 children, I feel like, through the last 3 years. And I have loved every treatment and experience I have had with Nurse Christy and her team.
Now, carbon dioxide therapy has been around since the 1930s, but the method of delivery has changed very dramatically since then. It's now no longer injected into the skin, but it's delivered over 45 minutes cutaneously in a mask format that's so easy to use. It could be used as a combo therapy, an aesthetic monotherapy, and I know that Nurse Christy and Nurse Emma use this pre and post procedure. So let's talk about post procedure. So after SkinVive, how are you going to be applying CO2 Lift product to Dina?
So we love applying the CO2 Lift mask after because with the SkinVive, you could have a lot of little surface bruises. And so what the CO2 does, it's applied to the skin. There's a lot of CO2 on the skin. So the body actually sends oxygen to the skin to oxygenate the tissue, which decreases bruise time. We love that. And it also brings collagen and elastin and fibroblasts to the skin to make the skin heal quicker after a treatment like this.
We're sitting here with Dina Goodman, and she has the CO2 Lift mask on her face. We're going to get her reaction and see what she's feeling. How does it feel?
Feels cool and calming. And I do feel tightening and lifting and cooling happening as we speak.
So SkinVive is one of Allergan's latest product lines, and it's interesting because it's really all about hydration, treating the skin from within, not just putting a Band-Aid over your wrinkles and your fine lines, but truly creating that hydration. And that's the trend we've been seeing. This fits incredibly, amazingly well with carbon dioxide treatment for skin rejuvenation. As we know, CO2 Lift. In this particular product, she has the Pro-On, available only in practitioners' offices, which is really important to note. But this particular case, the results that Dina's going to be expecting is exactly what she said. The cooling sensation, it's going to accelerate any kind of repair to the tissue that's been damaged from either injections or even from a hot laser. So these masks are incredible as a monotherapy, combo therapy, and we've been seeing an uptick in the Google search trend, carbon dioxide therapy. People are wondering what it is and how it works. It's been compared to a hyperbaric oxygen chamber at times. But to my understanding, you also have your mom here today.
I do.
Okay, tell me, is this a mother-daughter thing that you do as a ritual, that you come get your skincare done together?
This is the first time we're here together. I did inspire my mom to come get treated by Nurse Christy, and she has also been thrilled with the results of the multiple treatments she's received. We both value the way we look on the outside. We both value the way we feel on the inside. My mother's mother, my grandmother, always said that treating your skin well was critical, and so it is something that's generations deep.
Today we have the beautiful Sarah Goodman. She's a psychotherapist in her 60s, and she just had an incredible procedure done to address sunspots and hyperpigmentation. They're about to apply a mask on your face. Have you heard of CO2 Lift before?
I have. I actually tried it last night, and I loved it. I loved how it went on my face and what it felt like while it was on my face. And then when I peeled it off, my face felt so much more moist and firm, and it looked amazing. I was shocked. I did it at night at the end of the day, and I looked at myself and said, "Oh my goodness, this feels really good. I'd like to do this more often."
So the reason why you did the mask prior to coming here was so you can really prep your skin, get that hydration at its optimal peak, and really get that skin ready for this procedure, the microneedling. To my understanding, they're going to reapply the mask post microneedling procedure. And I can't wait to see your reaction. Are you ready? I am ready. All right, let's do it. Nurse Emma has just finished microneedling on the beautiful Sarah Goodman, and now she's resting and enjoying a CO2 Lift mask. And we're going to get her reaction on what her skin is currently feeling. You look radiant. How do you feel in this mask?
I feel great. My skin feels kind of moist. I just had micro needling, and this is to help heal my skin and soothe it and hydrate it. And I loved it last night, and I love it even more now. It's cooling my skin, and it's just feeling very moist.
After you peeled off the mask last night, what did you notice?
I noticed that my skin was very smooth and just very moist. I noticed fewer lines. It felt really good.
This product increases hydration. Studies have shown by 117%. It's non-invasive facelift in a mask. You definitely have to check it out. Head to co2lift.com. But more importantly, find a practitioner, find somebody that truly understands your skincare needs and can help educate you in the process. Head to SkinSplendid and meet with Nurse Christy and Nurse Emma. That was our Going Deep segment brought to you by CO2 Lift. Thank you so much to Dina and Sarah for sharing their experiences with the CO2 Lift products. And definitely be sure to learn more about SkinSplendid at SkinSplendid.com. Check them out on the gram at SkinSplendid. And of course, do check out the mother-daughter duo themselves on the gram at their personal pages at Nurse Christy NYC and at Nurse Emma NYC. You're listening to A Moment of Zen right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, iHeartRadio. We'll be right back after this.
A Moment of Zen is brought to you by CO2 Lift. As we age, our skin loses moisture and elasticity, causing wrinkled skin. You can reverse this aging process with CO2 Lift. CO2 Lift utilizes the powerful benefits of carbon dioxide to lift, tighten, and regenerate your skin. This simple, painless at-home carboxytherapy treatment is scientifically proven to reverse the aging process. You will see reduction in wrinkles, increase luminosity, and improve pigmentation, sagging, skin tone, and radiance. For more information or to order CO2 Lift, go to CO2Lift.com.
A Moment of Zen is sponsored by FinTech TV.
FinTech TV, the newest streaming channel focused exclusively on the business of blockchain, digital assets, and sustainability. Broadcasting from our studio on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with daily reports from NASDAQ, global expansion, and 24/7 coverage. Become part of the launch. Head to fintech.tv/invest. Fintech.tv/invest.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York. A Moment of Zen is brought to you by Your Home TV with Kathy Ireland and their channel partners. Head to yourhometv.com for free, family-friendly programming, streaming 24/7.
Are you looking to build a new home? Think about building a barn-dominium. There's just something about getting away from it all. Country living, fresh air, and outdoor entertainment. Watch luxury barn-dominium tours on Your Home TV and let Stacy Lynn, the barn-dominium lady, take you on a journey through her barn-dominium designs.
Tune in to A Moment of Zen, Saturday nights from 9 to 10 p.m. on 710 WOR, the voice of New York.
Well, that's a wrap, my dear friends. Remember to join me right here on 710 WOR, the voice of New York, every Saturday night from 9 to 10 p.m. Or you could head to 710WOR.iHeart.com/A Moment of Zen. Also, remember that we're live on Traverse TV Sundays at 1 p.m., YouTube Sundays at 2 p.m., and all episodes of A Moment of Zen are available on Your Home TV and Kathy Ireland worldwide streaming platform. You could head directly to our channel. It's free programming to you at mox.yourhometv.com. Thank you for listening to us. It's been an absolute pleasure being your host. Thanks again to all of our sponsors that continue to make this show possible. And remember that happiness is the only thing that multiplies when you share it.